Such a beautiful day outside today. The sun, the air, it all feels so good and so serene. And where I live up north, where I live, I'm surprised in a way that um, we haven't had worse weather. We've had our days, but we've seen some pretty bad winters here. So far, winter hasn't been that bad to us, and I am grateful because I can't stand certain um, certain things about the winter. I can't stand. Um, but it's not that I dislike the winter altogether, because I like it. It serves its purpose, serves its purpose. Can't help but remember the last time that I sat out here with the sun shining just as beautiful. I was in a totally different space mentally, spiritually, and definitely emotionally. I was in the very early stages of my breakup. And you know, I've came a long way since then, and for that I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And I have I'm in a stage now of asking myself, what is it that I want from me? Because, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the breakup. Well, first of all, the sun is reflecting in my lenses, so that's better. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the breakup, but I can tell you that a breakup, um, especially from a long-term situation, it makes you question damn near everything. And that's what I'm doing. So I am currently asking myself, what is it that I want from me? Because in the relationship, I didn't fully realize at the time how self-sacrificing I was. I sacrificed a lot. And I think that's why I was almost bitter. I was almost, and I'm saying almost because when I realized that that's the direction that I was going in, um, I had to dig a little deeper. Excuse me. Go a little harder to get up out of that space. I wasn't too deep in, but I seen myself headed that way, and I had to do what was necessary so that I can refrain from going into that space, because that's another fucking dark hole that I don't think anybody really wants to embark on. I know for sure I didn't. I was dealing with a fucking heartbreak, and the last thing I wanted to do was add fucking bitterness on top of that shit. Besides, those negative energies impact you in so many ways. You become bitter, and it is a rabbit hole, and it changes you from the inside out, mentally, emotionally, and even physically. You even start to resemble a bitter bitch. You start taking on physical aspects and attributes. You start to look the parts. Okay. That's some damn squirrels over there at my neighbor house. She got a bird feeder in her yard, and damn squirrels over there fucking around. So, in order to prevent myself from being going down that fucking dark rabbit hole, there's a lot of shit that I had to do to come up out of how far I had gotten. It wasn't too far, but it was far enough for me to recognize that's where the fuck I was going. Mm. So I'm in a space now. I'm so fucking grateful to be in it. And like I was saying, I didn't realize how self-sacrificing that I was in that relationship until it was over. You know, I realized that I had done so many things for someone that I love, and I realized that they would never do that for me. And love is not tit for tat. It is not about tit for tat, but love is supposed to be reciprocative. Love, I've learned love definitely has to have boundaries. Before, when I was in a relationship, I felt like love was not supposed to have boundaries. I didn't realize how healthy boundaries were. I felt like before, my thought process was when I was in the relationship, I thought that the person that you love is supposed to have all access to you. And all access to you means no holds barred. It means um, to all your resources. It means whatever it is that they, need you for, want you for, you ought to show up for them, because love is an action word, and I've done all of those things. And then the reality hit me during the breakup that not only was I being took for granted, that I was being used, that I was being abused, I wasn't being respected. And it was a real eye opener for me. And it made me ask myself a lot of questions, and it made me um, recalibrate all of my systems, my thought process, um, my healing journey, just me reevaluating who I was. And now I'm evolving again to a whole nother person. And it's a beautiful thing, though. It didn't start out that way. I didn't start out feeling that way. But the experiences I've had to date, where I can actually see the evolution of myself, it is absolutely beautiful. And I am very humbled by it, and very, very grateful for it. And I'm sitting out here this morning, sipping on my tea. And there was a few things that I wanted to bring to the attention of y'all. Breaking up is not fucking easy. I don't care how mad you are, how upset you are. Breaking up isn't easy. But neither are relationships. Being in a relationship with someone isn't easy. But what I have learned so far is that I don't want to be single, but I'm enjoying my singlehood right now. I have to admit I am because he was away 13 years, and silly of me to not even want to deal with the fact or grasp the concept of me actually being single during that 13-year hiatus. You could not get me to believe that I was single. As far as I was concerned, the person that I love was having a traumatic experience in their life. I couldn't abandon them. I was not going to abandon them. I was going to be there for them and with them, and I was in a full-fledged relationship. That is how I treated it. That is how I looked at it. That is what my heart felt. That's what the fuck I did. And I'm going to say this, that in comparison, I'm enjoying my singlehood right now. Um, I feel this way. I would rather be single than to be in a non reciprocal relationship. I'd rather be single than force a romantic relationship with someone that really doesn't want to be there. And I would know, you would know, if that person is interested in being with you and in the way they're interested in being with you if you just pay attention. You got to take off the rose colored glasses. That means that you have to see them for who they really are. You have to see them, really see them, and the role that they have played to date in your life. You have to analyze that, and you need to decide if that is the type of person that you want to be with, if you want to be in a relationship with, if you want to be loved halfway, not appreciated, disrespected, if you want to be with someone who would never be able to meet you where you are, emotionally, physically, mentally. And it has absolutely nothing to do with perfection. You know, that's a debate that I had gotten into with one of my girlfriends, because she our debate was, you know, she says that, if I don't settle, then I am looking for perfection. And I told her that she uses perfection as an excuse. And perfection, I explained to her, has nothing to do with reciprocity. And it has nothing to do with human decency. And it has nothing to do with adulting. Perfection is non-existent except when it comes to the creators of this world and of this universe, right? Of the world that we live in, are the only examples that we have of perfection, right? And sometimes when I get deep enough in my spiritual journey, sometimes I question that. And it's not no disrespect to them, but we were all made in the images of the creators, everything. But the only thing that resembles the perfection that they embody is Mother Nature. The stars, the moon, the sun, the, trees, the grass, you know, um, Mother Nature and the universe. Those are the only things that embody the perfection in which we say that our creators have. But humans don't have that. And I'm not upset, and it doesn't make me question them in a negative way. It just makes me seem like, okay, we are all here to have a human experience and to aspire towards growth. And when you're aspiring to grow and towards anything, any aspect in your life, when you're aspiring towards growth, you are going to make mistakes and you're going to fail. And that means that's a prime example of perfection among humanity is non-existent. Okay, so it's insulting to a degree to me for her to think or even say that if I don't settle, it means that I am, looking for perfection. And that's not the case at all. We all want what we want. I damn sure don't want perfection, because I don't want to ever be held to that standard. I don't ever want to have to look at my partner as perfect and then, to a degree, have to live up to that, because, partners are a reflection of each other, relationships. And I don't want to put that kind of stress on myself to even have to live up to that. So, no. But I've learned what I want in a partner. And I can definitely tell you that it starts with the basics of humanity. And, well, the tea was hot, so I was letting it stew for a minute. Good morning. Mm. Um, and what I want um, is an adult. And I feel like I'm sounding repetitive, which is why I'm so hesitant. But what I want is the basic in humanity, which is human decency, reciprocity, respect, understanding, communication. And a part of adulting in relationships is also to embody the truth that, well, wasn't that cute? Frank my face. To understand that there's a certain level you get to in a relationship that the couple creates their own language. It is unspoken jargon, so to speak, that no one else understands but the couple. I aspire to have that. No one else will make me feel less than. I don't want to be with anyone who feels that I need to be less than who I am in any type of way for them to feel empowered. I want to be free in my relationship, and I don't mean free to be fucking disrespectful and fucking, unfaithful, deceitful, and all the things that I've experienced in my past relationships. Not that I want to be free to be myself, totally me, who I am. I want to look at my person for exactly who they are and love them for being who they are, and respecting them to have the courage to be who they are, and then appreciating them for who they are, like that. And that's what I want for me. I want my man to always look, and yes, I want him to be a man and not no damn woman, okay? With no disrespect to the alternative lifestyle community in any way. It's just my preference. I am a heterosexual born female. I am a woman, right? And I want my man to look at me and any part of my life or our life together, and I want him to have a sense of pride. I want him to look at me and see a partner, see courage, and I always want him to love every aspect of me. Like, damn, she's sick, she's feeling under the weather, but even with a runny nose, she's still cute. Look at her, this was a hard time for our family, and I'm just giving some examples. This was a hard time for our family, whatever we had to deal with, but my wife showed a tremendous amount of strength, and I respect her for it. I appreciate her for it. It makes me love her more to know that I have someone just as solid as myself. I want him to understand we both have a place in each other's life, but to still look at me as an equal. Not to look at me as someone less than just because of my gender. Not someone that is supposed to serve him just because of our gender. Um, I want him to promote me being in my, not just in my feminine state, but I want to thrive in that shit. I want to thrive in it, and I want him to be proud of himself and to look at me with ecstasy when he see me thriving in it, because he know as a man that he did his part in order for me to be able to thrive. So a sense of self-pride, when he look at me, you know, and it probably can get a little deep, what I want or what I aspire to have in my relationship, because relationships don't start out that way, of course, but yeah, it can get a little deep, but not perfect. I want someone that I can depend on. Yeah. Hold on. I want someone who has a sense of responsibility, family orientated. And if family orientated doesn't mean that you can't go and hang out with your boys or you can't go and hang out with your friends. That's not what I mean. I mean that we have a general understanding that our family is first. And things of that nature. And what I want in my relationship, I don't think that too many women would oppose or differentiate. Honestly, because we all, as women, and I'm not really sure about men because I'm not a man, but I think it's safe to say that just as humans, in this personal space that we create with our romantic partner, we want to feel safe, we want to feel loved, and we want to feel free, you know? And yeah. And so until then, I am, and there's more. Oh, there's more. And I'm not running off a check off list to you either. I don't have that. But I'm just conversing with you. And until I meet someone who have the potential for those credentials, I'm going to continue to date. Dating has been interesting, to say the least. So many people out here in this big ass world, so many people that are interesting. um I've grown to love myself even more, and I'm saying more because I loved myself before, but I realized that with every obstacle, for one, but let's for every obstacle that I overcome, for every goal I achieve, at different phases in my life requires a different part of me to show up to be able to get things done. And I really appreciate that about myself. And I was wondering what type of life I want for myself, because my oldest is a man who has started his family, so I am a grandmother. It's so fucking weird sometimes, Like, I've always wanted to definitely be a grandmother. But it's like so surreal, you know? Um, I have a man child, which means I have a teenager who, by the time I'm able to retire, will be an adult male. And I'm asking myself, what type of life do I want? And I'm trying to figure that out so I can start to build that. And what I mean is, do I want to live alone? Or do I want to keep a house for family, for my kids? Do I want to be a road dog? Do I just want to retire and travel? Or do I want to start another career? Do I want to open a business? Because now the aftermath of the breakup is to flourish in my sovereign being. Flourish. And after years of dedicating myself to someone outside of myself, out of the years of dedicating myself to a job, out of years of dedicating myself to parenthood, I have begun implementing, and just be patient with me because these braids are really, really, really long. Like I got all fucking dramatic and exotic and I got them all the way down to my ass. So I'm asking myself, in which way do I want to dedicate myself to myself? What do I want to do to inspire to be my greatest self? Do I want to travel? Do I just want to take on a life of physical training and working out and enjoying my retirement that way? You know what I'm saying? That way, like just coasting out. Do I want to inspire? Do I not inspire? Do I want to have other relationships, romantic relationships? Do I want to dedicate myself to someone else? Do I want to get married? I'm asking myself those things. What do I want for me? And it's just a really, really fucking cool ass spot to be in. So, even with the relationships, not being easy and a breakup not being easy, I just want to be encouraging to you, if I can, to keep fucking going. Don't return to a place. If you have left, if you had the courage to leave, if you had the resources to leave, if you did everything that you needed to do, or like in my case, if you've been left and you had the resources to do better, then do better. Keep going. Don't return back to a situation because it was familiar. Don't return back to poison because you have learned how to transmute poison. Don't do that to yourself. Don't force yourself to be in a space where you're unwanted and unappreciated. Loneliness may be a bit hard for some people. So thankful it's not that way for me. It is not. Because I'm not lonely. Now, I may get lonely sometime. That doesn't happen often. And it is because my life has gotten so, it's like there's not enough time in a day for family, to work, to travel, to spend time with yourself. So get to a space of healthy distraction in order to wean yourself away from depression of loneliness. Sometimes, like I had an experience, on a Sunday morning. I woke up in my beautiful, peaceful neighborhood, and it just would have been really nice to wake up to a morning kiss, or maybe some breakfast and a hot cup of coffee, a morning conversation, and that would have been nice. And I will have that again soon. I don't doubt that for 1 minute. I don't. I'll have that again soon. But just keep in mind. Morning. Good. How are you? Good. I just want to remind you that it gets better. It's not always hard. It's not always hurtful. It's not always challenging. If you stay the course to healing, it gets better. Don't stay in a place or go back to a place that made you sick. Keep going, baby. Thanks for listening. I will get back with you guys very soon.